The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Turn 3 Racing Network. As tonight we are here at North Wilkesboro Speedway as the Next Gen Old School Racing Series throws down the historic half-mile track in their 1987 Cup cars. Thank you very much for joining me here tonight. My name is K.R. Stolfus, and we are ready to rock and roll. About 30 seconds left in practice here before we head into qualifying. One driver going to claim the top spot, and from there we're going to let them loose. We are going to have a heck of a race here tonight. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope you all are strapped in and holding on tight, because it is going to be a heck of a show here tonight as Brandon Mefford goes for a spin. Eric Blount in the 6 machine going to take the checkered flag on this practice session. That means it is time to roll into qualifying. First car to start moving for qualifying, that is the 55 of Steve Baker. Baker coming off of a solid run at Darlington, but not a race win. He's going to have to reset his car. He's going to take another stab at that one. Dustin German picked up the last 2 wins here. Steve Baker winning at Watkins Glen. But Baker was a very dominant force at Darlington. We watched Dylan Blankenship in the 05 machine. Willis, only time turned as Blankenship now turns the time at 19.11. Todd Willis moving to 3rd. Jason Gardner jumping to 2nd. As the times start to roll in, Brandon Mefford in the 83 machine. Steve Baker going to the top of the leaderboard. First one into the 18-second bracket at 18.83. Now Mitchell Snare going to join him there. Mitchell in the 43 machine in a 2nd spot. Maybe he's got a little bit more. Brandon Mefford also in the 18-second bracket. Let's put Gordon Larson as a driver who has also joined this sub 19-second group. Eric Blount in the 6th starting to shut his down. Ryan Littleton in the 80 machine make his way off of turn number 4. Dashes across the start-finish line, and Littleton right now finds himself in 6th spot. Dustin Ping inside of Stacy's mom off of turn number 4. Gonna roll across the start-finish line, a 19.02 for Dustin Ping. Gonna put him in 6th spot. Tim Woodson in the 40 machine coming up off of turn number 2. Woodson looking to roll across the start-finish line here. And Woodson slower on the 2nd lap, so a 19.46 for him. Woodson Woody. Thomas Light in the 98 machine. This one could be a good lap. It's Light digging hard in that red 98. And Light jumps up to 11th spot, turning a 19.29. He's going to shut it down after that one. Bruce Pearson pulling in. Pearson finding himself in 14th spot. Quite a few drivers have not qualified. 15 drivers taking a time here so far. No one else posting a time just yet. Doug Wysocki in the 34 machine. Doug already trying to overcome a lot here tonight, as for the first time, Doug Wysocki is going to be on triple monitors. We're not set up just right. We had to work on it before the race started. We couldn't get it fixed. So Doug has been scrambling from the get-go. I believe this is Doug's first time on the track. But man, I'm excited. Someone else coming to triples, someone else investing a little bit deeper into their sim racing equipment. And I am glad to see that it is Doug Wysocki in this Sour Patch 34 machine, as he is the only one out on track right now trying to qualify. And he is going to get loose coming off of turn number 4, and he has committed suicide. That probably would have been a death in 1987. That was very violent. But Doug, done and over with, and finding himself in 16th spot. So with no one else on track for the moment, Brian Beach sitting at the end of pit lane. He has not turned a qualifying time yet. 16 drivers with a qualifying time. You do have quite a few more than 16 drivers here tonight. So with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and step away for a moment for our national anthems. No one go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as the drivers are starting to take to the grid. That means it is time to run down tonight's starting lineup for the Animal Rescue Site 140. Here is the Next Gen Racing Series Tackles, North Wilkesboro. Steve Baker, Mitchell Snare on row number 1. Row number 2 going to be Troy Radford and Brandon Medford. Row 3, Gordon Larson, Dustin Ping. Row 4, Ryan Littleton and Jason Gardner. Row number 5 will be Eric Blount and Dylan Blankenship. Row number 6 going to be Thomas Light and Gary Ragland. Row 7, Todd Willis, Bruce Pearson, and then it is going to be Tim Woodson Woody and Doug Wysocki. Row number 9, Damon Cox Mudd and Brian Beach, Justin Walters and David Cox going to make up row number 10. Row number 11 will be Melvin Young and Ray Radford, and Derek Robinson scheduled to start last on the field here, but he did not make the call to the grid, so hopefully the lone driver from Canada can get out there before he loses a lap. And already a tough start for the 58 machine of Derek Robinson. Mitchell Snare checking in on YouTube chat before the race had gone live. Here he is on the outside of row number 1 for our first start of the race. He is going to go way up high. 55 of Steve Baker with the race lead on the opening lap. So Baker out in front. Troy Radford in the 94 trying to give chase. Mitchell Snare falling to third. Our race info here tonight. Things to keep track of. Maintain your tire spin, especially coming up off the corners and on restarts. Watch out for that backstretch wall. This backstretch wall has a way of lulling you into a sense of safety, and it can catch you out very quickly if you are not paying attention. Pit stops have got to be fast here tonight. A very short track, a very long pit road, and of course, manage lap traffic. Drivers have to be careful picking their way through the field here tonight. Mitchell Snare just set the fastest lap of the race with a 19.19 second lap time. Mitchell, sitting in third so far, has laid claim to being the fastest driver in this race. However, that could change. We do have 140 scheduled laps here tonight. Troy Radford sitting in second. Steve Baker, your race leader. Mitchell Snare sitting in third. Snare in that 43 machine trying to get to the back bumper of Troy Radford as we go on board with the driver in the 43. A lot of RVs off to the side there. A lot of historical looking RVs. Mitchell Snare makes his way down the backstretch, and you can see how it can tempt a driver. We go downhill into turn number 1. And then here you go uphill, and then it kind of changes. You saw how fast that outside wall came up on the 43 that lap. That is what these guys are going to have to deal with each and every lap. So top 3 have pulled away from the 0-1 of Gordon Larson, who is sitting in 4th place. He is trying to close in there. Gordon Larson finding himself just about a second behind Mitchell Snare. And then to round out your top 5, that is Stacy's mom, number 1 machine. Dustin Ping in 5th spot. Right behind Ping, that is Brandon Mefford. Mefford in the 83 being hounded by Jason Gardner. Gardner all over the back bumper in the 93 machine. And then Brian Littleton in 8th spot in that Michelob Ultra number 80. Eric Blount in the Valvoline 6, finding himself in 9th place. And Thomas Light in the 98. Final car in the top 10. Dylan Blankenship in the 05 machine, finding himself in 11th. And our biggest mover of the race so far, that is the 18 of Brian Beach, as he has gained 6 positions since the drop of the green flag. Doug Wysocki has gained 3 spots in that 34 machine, so he is working his way forward. Meanwhile, Gary Ragland and Damon Cox are having a discussion about who wants to run in 14th spot, and the 57 machine going to move into 14th. Gary Ragland in 15th. Bruce Pearson right behind them in the black and green 25 machine, finding himself in 16th spot. 17th right now, that is Justin Walters in the 46. Walters in that baby powder blue 46. Brian Beach having a bit of a moment as Todd Willis pulls onto pit road. Let's see what happened to Brian Beach in the 18 machine. Contact with him and the 40. I believe that was a 40, and the 18 worse for the wear of that one, but looks like that car not too torn up. We stay green and come around and start lap 19 of 140. Baker continuing to lead. He has been your race leader since the drop of the green flag. Troy Radford has been trying to track him down. So far, that 94 machine has not been able to make a move on the 55. They are closing in on lap traffic. That is going to make things a little bit difficult for our race leaders, but very respectful drivers here in the 10 and the 47. They will try and get out of the way. As the 10 machine of Melvin Young goes to the high side, Troy Radford able to close in on the 55 as Baker wasn't quite sure what the 10 was going to do. Ray Radford in the 47 machine, the next victim to go one lap down. Radford stays to the top shelf. Everyone works their way through 3 and 4. $140 laps here for the Animal Rescue Site 140. Field starting to get strung out. We started 22 drivers, 23 drivers showed up for practice. Unfortunately, looks like Derek Robinson, after completing some practice, had some issues with his race car. Is not going to be able to continue on. Radford in the 94. Trying to give some bumper love to the 55, the 40 machine. Tim Woodson, one of the high side. Mitchell Snare almost getting into the back of the 40. Got loose coming off of turn 2 as he tried to really turn the wheel down. That's going to cost him a little bit of time, but Mitchell Snare keeps it under control. Mitchell looking for his first win of the season. Steve Baker picked up the win, like I said, in Watkins Glen. That was all the way back December 2nd. I'll tell you what, the driver who was looking to his inside, hungry for another win, the 94 Troy Radford, who picked up the opening race here for this season at Daytona all the way back in November 4th. Has not hit victory lane since then. Very close racing coming off turn number 2. And Baker starting to gear up for the Daytona 24 hours. 24 hours of Daytona? It's something like that. Who cares? Who wants to watch some drivers go around for 24 hours when you could watch the next gen old school skier series here at Watkins Glen? I continue to stumble over my words. But Baker, no slouch on the road racing either. So here he is putting in a good performance at North Wilkesboro. Time is coming up that he will strap in for a very long 24-hour race. If you guys have never done the Daytona 24 hours, it is an experience. Highly recommend that you attempt it once, maybe even twice. And when you are done with it, it is quite the accomplishment. I will say, Troy Radford, Steve Baker, and myself, the last time I did 24 hours of Daytona was with my teammates along with Bruce Jones and Ray. Get racing. Oh my gosh. I'm drawing a blank. That's because I got so much on my mind, trying to say so many things. But Ray, don't be mad at me. What's your last name? Anyway, hey, I've lost my train of thought, and I am really screwed up because of it. All right, here we go. Focus in on the race. Steve Baker, the race leader. Troy Radford running in second. Mitchell Snare sitting in third. Top three are all within a few seconds of each other. In fact, Mitchell Snare only 1.5 seconds off the race lead. But then it is a while back to the one of Dustin Ping. He finds himself 5.7 seconds off the race lead. And Dustin Ping back just a little bit in fourth spot. Brandon Mefford in fifth. Brandon Mefford rounding out your top five in the 83 machine. We worked lap 38 of 140. Brandon Mefford in the black and white 83 machine, being followed by the 93 of Jason Gardner. We do have Ray Radford in the 47, who has just pulled on to pit road. He's being in his pit stall for the last 14 seconds. He is losing a lot of time sitting there. Ray may be making an unscheduled pit stop here. We'll see if he can get back out there. Todd Willis in the 14 machine has gone behind the wall. And of course, we talked about Derek Robinson not making the start here. So 3 cars possibly out of the race as Ray Radford continues to sit on pit road. 16 cars on the lead lap. Justin Walters in the 46 machine, the last car on the lead lap. That blue race car follows behind the 10. Melvin Young in the 10 machine, already 1 lap down. Young gonna move to the high side, the 46 down to the bottom. Walters doesn't want to go a lap down, but kind of cue the Jaws theme. Some things are just inevitable. Needs a caution here, otherwise he is going to be swallowed up by the very fast pace that the 55 of Steve Baker is putting on. Melvin Young stays to the high side. The 94 Troy Radford going to squeeze by. So the 46 doing all he can to stay out in front. Bruce Pearson, the next driver, just ahead of the 46. Nobody wants to go a lap down, but sometimes you just got to accept that you're set up, the way you're driving, the way you know the track, all of that stuff just doesn't add up to be good enough. There's nothing wrong with that. There were plenty of times where Dale Earnhardt finished races a lap down. There were plenty of times where Jeff Gordon finished a race a lap down or 2. Nothing wrong with going a lap down, but drivers do take it as a sense of pride to try and finish on the lead lap. Steve Baker, on the other hand, as the race leader, would take it as a sense of pride to lap the entire field. You got 2 sides of the same coin. We work our way around the North Wilkesboro Speedway. Putting everybody a lap down would be a huge accomplishment for a driver. And then if you're someone running at the back, you're looking to try and not go a lap down. So, and all you're doing is just different perspective of the same race. Baker in the 55 machine really has this car, this track figured out. Already been to victory lane at Watkins Glen. Had a great run going at Darlington. Dustin German, however, has picked up last 2 wins. Dustin German did win at Darlington and Talladega, but German not here tonight. This field appears to be wide open. Radford is falling back just a little bit too. Baker in that 55 at one point. Troy Radford was all over the back bumper of the 55 machine, but just not able to make the pass. We are on board with Radford. Let me tell you, I am sipping some very spicy water, but it is tasting very amazing. If you have never had some spicy water, it does make for an interesting time. Radford giving us some great shots here from second spot. Baker has got around Bruce Pearson. Roy Radford not clearing him just yet. 43 machine of Mitchell Snare still in third. Well, the top three have not changed other than Troy Radford moving into second at the start of this race. Coming into tonight's race, Chris Mefford was the points leader. Mitchell Snare came into the race here tonight in second place in the standings. Mefford not making the race here tonight. And Mitchell Snare, even though he was 2 points behind Chris Mefford, and Mefford not showing up, Snare very possibly could come away with the points lead. Troy Radford was 17 points behind Chris Mefford coming into tonight, sitting in second place. So Mitchell Snare looking like if he can finish third, maybe going to come away with the points lead for the first time this season. Eric Blount in a fourth place in the points standings. The sixth machine right now running in seventh as he is trying. Work by Jason Gardner as Gardner down on the inside wall there. Brandon Mefford just ahead of Blount. Speaking of Brandon Mefford missed last week. Well, all the way down in the 14th spot in the point standings. This 83 machine, very smooth contact between the 83 and the 6. Both of them get it sorted out. That does allow the 93 to close in. All right, so Brandon Mefford right now in fifth spot. Eric Blount in sixth. Jason Gardner seventh as Eric Blount takes a peek to the inside of the 83 machine. He is trying to dig hard off of turn number 2. Well, not able to put the power down just yet. Mefford hanging tough in that outside lane, but Eric Blount going to get the job done on the front stretch. Mefford gives the 6 a little bit of a shot to the back of the bumper there. That is going to allow Jason Gardner to get to the inside of the 83. Steve Baker continues to lead. Roy Radford, Mitchell Snare, Dustin Ping, second, third, and fourth. But Eric Blount in fifth spot here. Now Jason Gardner in sixth and Brandon Mefford in seventh. Right behind them, that is the 05 of Dylan Blankenship and the 80 of Brian Littleton. We have been green flag for this entire race as we are creeping up on the halfway point. I want to thank everyone for joining us here tonight. I hope y'all are enjoying the show as much as I am, because North Wilkesboro, very historic track, iRacing, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. getting together, cleaning this track up, doing what they can to scan it, as Dylan Blankenship in the 05 got a little bit sideways. But the track needed cleaning. Had to go through with weed eaters, leaf blowers, all kinds of stuff, and clean it all up. Then they had to track down all kinds of pictures to put together what this track looked like in 1987. Very historic track for NASCAR, and these 87 Cup cars that iRacing has scanned, in my opinion, that is a perfect fit. The 87 cars here at North Wilkesboro. probably why the 87 cars in North Wilkesboro were released, was just this combo alone. I gotta tell you, it's worth a few dollars that you have to spend if you're an iRacing member to get involved with this racing. Now we just need to have the RVs. Let us drive those RVs that they scan. Ooh. Death and destruction at Irwindale. Coming up next. I'm kidding. Am I? Detroit Radford in second spot, really falling quite a bit behind Steve Baker. Baker has really opened up a huge gap. 5.2 second gap by the 55 machine. He is really not showing any signs of slowing down as we have gone past the halfway point. Take a little bit of a look at our last few times around this speedway. Steve Baker, his best lap was a 19.24 last time around. He turned a 20.48. Let's compare that to Mitchell Snare, who's made it on the, or I'm sorry, Troy Radford is on the pit road. Here comes Steve Baker. Mitchell Snare also going to hit pit lane. I was getting ready to talk about tire fall off, as everyone's going to hit pit road and really throw off my last time around discussion. Very rude. Can't believe they would do that. That is going to give the lead to the one of Dustin Ping. Ping not going to hit pit road this time. He is going to stay out. So the blue and yellow one machine, your new race leader, Eric Blount in second spot. Jason Gardner, third, fourth, Brandon Mefford. Steve Baker has rejoined the race ahead of Troy Radford. Radford, though, he does find himself 6 seconds behind 55 of Baker. Troy Radford losing a little bit of time on pit road. He was almost a full second slower in his pit stop, and then he was about 1.5 seconds slower on pit road. So Steve Baker really doing a good job on pit lane here. But Dustin Ping is the race leader. We are waiting for this to cycle all the way around. Dustin Ping has not pitted yet. Baker leading everybody who has hit pit road. As Dustin Ping continues to lead, he's going to have to hit pit road before the end of this race, but when he makes his pit stop, that is anyone's guess. Both Baker and Radford felt that the halfway point is a good time to hit pit road. The 25 machine getting out of the way as the 55 of Steve Baker to make his way around and unlap himself. So Steve Baker back on the lead lap in 9th spot. Brian Beach in the 18 machine hitting pit road. As the 18 is serviced by his crew. Dustin Ping hoping for a caution here, but not going to get it. He is going to make his way on the pit lane to the one. Coming down pit road. That will give the lead to the 6 of Eric Blount. We work lap 83 of 140. Jason Gardner right behind him. Blount in 6, Gardner in the 93, sitting 1 and 2. Mitchell Snare trying to unlap himself on the high side. He's going high, wide, and handsome. So Snare trying to tiptoe through here. He's got the fresher tires. He's got a little bit more speed than the 6 does right now. As Jason Gardner's going to hit pit road. So Eric Blount staying out a little bit further. Meanwhile, the 94 struggling, trying to work his way through traffic. The 55 of Steve Baker, though, really not showing any signs of slowing down. He is now 7 seconds ahead of Troy Radford. Baker all the way up in the 3rd spot already. The 94 works to the outside of the 25. Bruce Pearson going to make his way on the pit lane this time. The Blount continuing to lead in the 6, but he is going to have to hit pit lane. As soon as he does, that gives the lead over to the 55 of Baker. And as fast as Baker is closing in, might just be a few more laps. Brian Littleton, hard impact into the wall. Let's see if we can catch what happened to Brian Littleton. Give me just a second here. Take a look at the 80 machine. Looks like he and the 83 are going to get together. The 80 is going to get stuck on pit lane wall. A tough break for the 80 of Brian Littleton. So Littleton going to join some of the drivers who are already out of the race. Derek Robinson, who practiced but did not start. Todd Willis out of the race. Ray Radford out of the race. David Cox, who has spent quite a bit of time on pit road, finding himself in 20th spot, the 19 machine. Of David Cox, make his way around Brian Littleton, but he's jumping that thing into the wall very hard. So now we're down to just 4 cars out of the race. Started 22 here tonight. Todd Willis, Ray Radford, Brian Littleton out of the race. Derek Robinson did not start, so gotta work on my math a little bit. The 80 is going to rejoin the race, so Brian Littleton getting back out there. No fast repairs are available in this league. So Littleton had to work on the damage a little bit. Baker, your race leader in the 55 machine. Eric Blount in the 6, who has continued to refuse to hit pit road, finds himself holding on to 2nd spot. But the 6 gonna have to finally give it up and comes down pit lane. He is gonna pit from 2nd place. Roy Radford flashes by. Steve Baker your race leader, out in front of Troy Radford by 7.7 seconds. Gonna dive down to the inside of the 40. One machine of Dustin Ping. First car one lap down. Dustin Ping in 6th spot. So a very, very quick pace. Find the driver in that 55 machine. Cooling fan for Dustin Ping. Looks like it's doing all it can to keep Stacy's mom all nice and cool. Steve Baker started on pole, out in front. Baker, who qualified on pole, did not turn the fastest lap of this race just yet. That still belongs to Mitchell Snare in the 43 machine. Mitchell Snare, 13.7 seconds off the race lead. Damon Cox, Bruce Pearson, both drivers just turning their fastest laps of the race. So some speed still left in this racetrack. We are past the 100 lap mark. We work lap 105 of 140. And Baker really just doing all he can to maintain his pace. We saw him open up a big lead. The longer he went, this race has not had a caution flag. Troy Radford had a little bit of speed when there was a yellow flag, which we got now, and which includes the 43 of Mitchell Snare. Let's take a look and see what has happened here. The yellow flag come out for the first time. It looks like a whole lot of drivers gonna get together going into turn number 1. Mitchell Snare all the way to the top side. The 40 machine, the 93, all conspire against the 43. Thomas Light in the 98 gonna come in at the last second there. Take one more look at this one. We ride on board with Gordon Larson. The Baker gonna hit pit road. Mitchell Snare with the damage he received on the pit lane. Troy Radford joining him as well. Right sides go up. More tires stop for everyone here, I would expect. Tires are very important. Dustin Ping, however, in the 1, going to choose to not come down pit road just yet. That could change. He is your race leader, and with our first caution coming out here tonight, we're going to take a quick break. No one go anywhere. We'll be right back. green flag is out once again here at North Wilkesboro as we wrap up our first caution of the night. Troy Radford trying to work over the outside of the 55 of Steve Baker, but Baker having none of it. Baker out in front. We saw Dustin Ping try and stay out, but he elected to hang back on this restart. The 55 of Baker did just set his fastest lap of the race at a 19.23. Mitchell Snare, who fell back because of the caution, he is now 1 lap down. Actually, he is more than 1 lap down. He is several laps down after spending over a minute and a half on pit road. Several drivers just setting their fastest lap of the race. So business starting to pick up and things are starting to get hot and heavy here at North Wilkesboro. To Baker and Radford sitting 1 and 2. Dustin Ping in the 1 machine. Last on pit road on lap 82. We are working lap 117. Dustin Ping trying to stretch this one, taking advantage of pit stops here. Steve Baker and Troy Radford find themselves 12 seconds ahead of Dustin Ping. And Dylan Blankenship getting in trouble in the 05. Take a look at this one. Troy Radford and Baker had made their way by. Blankenship going to make contact with the 40. Brian Beach gets into the back bumper. And the 40 almost goes up and over. I'm sorry, the 10. That was Melvin Young in the 10. My apologies. Take a look at this one. So Melvin Young almost tips over because he got on the brakes. And iRacing thinks that cars crashing should only weigh 100 pounds. So the 18 machine of Melvin Young got a little bit of damage. We ride on aboard with the 94 of Troy Radford. Brandon Mefford and Dustin Ping going to make their way on the pit road along with Thomas Light and Dylan Blankenship. I'm sorry, Dylan Blankenship been sitting on pit road for a while. So this one's starting to wind down, and as the old saying goes, cautions breed cautions. Our first caution coming just a couple of laps ago here in this 140 lap race. Now we have our second caution of the night, just a handful of laps between those two. Quick rundown of the field. 22 drivers took the green flag. Of those 22 drivers, 6 are on the lead lap. That is Steve Baker, Troy Radford, Eric Blount, Dustin Ping, Brandon Metford, and Gordon Larson, who finds himself the final car on the lead lap in that Exalta 01 machine. As the lights go out on the Chevy Silverado, don't worry, there'll be a recall to get that fixed, and then I'll have to do it because I work at the GM dealership. It's fine, it's fine. That's a conversation for another day. Who cares? Let's move on. We got some racing to talk about. We're gonna get the green flag with 16 laps to go. The 55, Steve Baker, the dominant car here tonight. Gonna try and bring this one home as we go around one more time. Lights did come back on the pace truck. I don't know how many times I've said pace car here tonight. Oh my goodness. All right, now they're back out. The lights are out on the pace truck. The 55 of Steve Baker, the 94 Troy Radford. Row 1 for the restart. Then the 6 of Eric Blount, the 1 of Dustin Ping, 83 of Brandon Metford, and the 18 of Brian Beach. On the outside of row number 3, as the green flag comes out, we are back underway with 15 laps to go. Steve Baker with a good jump. Dustin Ping in the 1. Really digging hard. He has got some fresh tires in that 1 machine. He is going to try and take advantage of them, almost getting in the back bumper of the 94 Troy Radford, but no contact made, and we keep racing. Meanwhile, Brian Beach in the 18 looks like maybe he has got a handful, as the 83 and the 6 are trying to work their way around him. Dustin Ping just set his fastest lap of the race, and it looks like Mitchell Snare in the 43 has gone up in smoke. Mitchell Snare, who has the fastest lap of the race. We saw the damage to his race car earlier as he was part of the incident that brought out the first caution of the night. The 43 machine blowing smoke all around the speedway. He is looking for an opportunity to hit pit lane and trying to finish this one out. You gotta feel for the 43. He came into tonight a solid opportunity to take over the points lead, and here he is pulling onto pit road with a blown engine. A very, very tough break for the 43. His night could be done, especially with 10 laps to go. This is not the race that the 43 of Mitchell Snare wanted to have. Steve Baker in the 55, though, on the other hand, looking for his second trip to victory lane this season. Dustin Ping in the 1 on fresher tires, trying to take advantage of those tires. But I gotta tell you, this 55 showing no sign of slowing down. Troy Radford falling to 3rd, was starting to reel back in the 1 of Ping. With 8 laps to go, here comes Brandon Metford. Metford touches the grass, and he is going to go for a spin. And we stay green. Brandon Metford lights the tires once again, gets rolling, and the caution flag is going to come out. So yellow flag coming out for Brandon Metford, trying to rejoin the track. Not quite up over 25 miles an hour, which is the cutoff line for iRacing, and that is a very, very difficult thing for a driver to see and keep track of. The no fault to Brandon Mefford on intentionally bringing out the yellow there. Brian Beach is going to get the wave around. He is going to make his way around the track and get back on the lead lap. That is not what I meant to click. You can see Brandon Mefford well below the racing line, but iRacing in its infinite wisdom felt the need to throw the yellow as he rejoined the track, not as he was spinning. But we all bow down before the iRacing gods. The Steve Baker, who has really been the car to beat, now has to fend off Dustin Ping, who has fresher tires, but has Dustin Ping chewed up those tires to try and make his way forward and try and win this race, not realizing or predicting the future that there would be a caution. While all that was going on, Steve Baker did set the fastest lap of the race. He has a 19.17. Well, as I say that, I look down timing and scoring, and I see that it does belong to Troy Radford. My apologies there. Radford setting the fastest lap of this race, a 19.059. Dale chiming in on YouTube. Thank you very much for saying hello, Dale. It's been a while since I got to talk to you. As the green flag comes out, Radford, Baker, Ping, who's it gonna be? Baker out in front. Dustin Ping in the one. Does not give the chin music to the 55, but don't count him out just yet as he dives down to the inside. Baker trying to fend him off. Final time around here at North Wilkesboro. Eric Blount making the move to the inside in the 94 for 6th spot. That is some bold move there. Fresher tires coming into play, but Steve Baker going to come away with the race win. Dustin Ping going to finish second, and Eric Blount at the last moment taking the final step of the podium away from Troy Radford, who is going to finish in 4th. And to round out your top 5, that is Gordon Larson. As we go ahead and take a look at the rest of our results, Brandon Mefford in 6th, Brian Beach 7th, 8th goes to Damon Cox, Doug Wysocki 9th, 10th goes to the driver in the 46 of Justin Walters. I try and find a good camera shot for the burnouts, but he's just on the wrong side. Oh, Bruce Pearson, Thomas Light, Jason Gardner, Gary Ragland, Brian Littleton, Melvin Young, Tim Woodson, Mitchell Snare in 18th spot. 19th, Dylan Blankenship, David Cox 20th, 21st, Ray Radford, Todd Willis 22nd, and Derek Robinson did not make it to the race here tonight after turning some practice laps. Now we move on to our post-race show. Let's kick this one off by talking to the driver who wins this whole thing, the driver in the 55 machine. That is Steve Baker. And Steve, you're back in the victory lane here for the second time this season.
Yeah, man. Car felt great. Track felt great. One of my favorite short tracks. So glad to be able to have a pretty good showing.
Oh man, a solid effort by the 55, the dominant car for sure all night long. A very long run to open this race off, and you showed some speed in the short run and the long run. What does it take for this 55 to be both fast at the beginning and the end?
I don't know. I feel like you kind of have to drive this track differently in different stages of the run, and really not sure what it is about it. But it's just one of the tracks I get into a rhythm easily, and it pays off. It's a really fun track, and a lot of guys out there had a lot of respect for everybody tonight. To do that many laps to open the race, green, says a lot about the league, especially at North Wilkesboro.
All right, well, the 55 last in victory lane at Watkins Glen. Here you are in victory lane once again. You have a teammate in between who went 2 in a row. Last time you won, and now he won 2. Now you've won 1. What are you guys doing? How are you all clicking so well right now?
I don't know. I mean, we've been running these cars quite a bit here lately. Me and him had just wrapped up a season of these cars prior to this one, so we just went straight into this one, and I think that seat time just helps. But yeah.
All right, man. Well, nice job out there tonight. Any shout outs or thank yous you'd like to give?
Yeah, just every week, man. Shout out to the league, the admins who put this on, all the drivers out here who, race everybody clean, and then you in turn 3 for the broadcast. Thank you guys for each week.
All right, man. Nice job out there tonight, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Thanks, Kara.
All right, now we move on to the driver who finished second out here tonight. That is the driver in the one machine, Dustin Ping. And Dustin, a very, very bold move there towards the end of the race around Troy Radford. Not only that, but for tires and how you made that call. What an outstanding move that was.
Yeah, kind of glad that caution came out when it did. Wish I could have got one more position and got around Steve, but not enough.
Well, Dustin, I gotta ask, what's it like to be inside of Stacy's mom?
Pretty warm.
Like apple pie?
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, man, a solid effort out there tonight at North Wilkesboro Speedway. What was it like for the driver here in this one machine to work his way forward tonight?
Pretty tough. Just trying to conserve tires and see how far we can go in one tank of fuel, and then it just worked out in our favor.
All right, man. Well, any shout outs or thank yous you'd like to give here tonight for the second place finish?
Yeah, I just want to thank my team, Blackhawk Motorsports, and
All right, man. Nice job out there tonight. Job well done.
appreciate it.
Now we're going to move on to our driver who finished in a third spot here tonight. That is the man in the 6 machine. Some of you may know him as Eric Blount, including me. Eric, you got your ears on, bud?
Sir.
Man, a nice job out here tonight. How about that finish?
Yeah, that was all down to the extra set of tires we had in the pits. We had a really good car in the long run, but that extra set, I was trying to get around Troy, and I just couldn't get it done. And by the time I got around, it was too late.
Well, Eric, it still seemed like a great call late in the race, but holy cow, what a solid finish you had. Walk us through that final few laps.
Well, I knew I had better tires than the guys in front of me, so but in the heat of the moment, I'm looking back on it now, and I should have, wherever they went, if they went low, I should have went high. And I, at the moment, thought I'll stay behind them, and I'll get a better turn off because my tires are better and get a run. But I had to choke up so much behind him in the corner that I lost that momentum off and just had to learn that first lap. And then I got around it, but it was too late.
All right, man. Well, a solid finish here tonight at North Wilkesboro. Final step of the podium. Any shout outs or thank yous you'd like to give for this third place finish?
Shout out to you up in the booth, KR, to the league, Troy, Damon, all the guys that make this thing work. I mean, it is fantastic what they do for us. Want to thank Valvoline, my team hotline, and all the folks that watch and support us. It was a great night.
All right, man. Nice job out there. Once again, congratulations.
Thank you, bud.
All right, so that is going to wrap it up for us here tonight as the field is starting to pack up, head on home next week. We're going to be, wait, hold on. I don't know where we're going to be next week. I got my notes. Michigan. We will be at Michigan International Speedway for the Samantha Mills Memorial 80. We turn 80 laps at Michigan. Make sure you join us for that one. A touching moment for a lot of these drivers. So please tune in for that one. So hopefully you all will. Guys, thank you so much for joining me here tonight for the Animal Rescue Site 140 right here at North Wilkesboro. I have been honored to bring you tonight's race. What a race it was. 140 laps done and over with. And when the points shake down, I can't wait to talk to you all about them next week. So until then, y'all stay safe, have a good night, and I will see you next time.